Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Antoine Wright, and you are looking at the Mobile Ministry Magazine Videocast for October 2013. If you would have looked over at our Twitter feed the other day, I mentioned over there what kind of topics should Mobile Ministry Magazine be looking at. And I haven't looked back at the responses yet because generally speaking, these tend to be unscripted. I don't really want to, say that they're totally unscripted, but there's a good bit of impromptu-ness that tends to happen with these, and I think it fits some of the mobile motif that, mobile happens as an activity, as a behavior. Things with mobile happen at the point of creation, and it happens when we think about it. It doesn't necessarily happen because we scripted it, but a lot of what makes mobile tick is that it happens nearly instantaneously. So we open up an application because we have a thought. We search for something because we're inquiring on some knowledge. We contact somebody, and that text message is responded to, relatively quickly. A whole lot about mobile happens quickly. Happens readily and not necessarily is planned. And that doesn't mean that everything isn't planned, but it does mean that a lot of what we like to say that is advantageous to take advantage of in mobile ministry, a lot of that tends to happen on a whim and at a moment. Looking at some things, that's kind of on the plate right now. Recently took a decent trip. One of the applications during that trip that a lot of folks kind of yelped about, this boy right here, Adobe Ideas. This is my first generation Apple iPad. Lord willing, I get enough consulting and speaking fees for the next year so I can get a new iPad and upgrade. But the Adobe Ideas application has been pretty much, that's been my defining application on the tablet. Reason being is that I draw my notes. I enjoy drawing my notes. I think a lot of good stuff happens when you're able to, put up together, a drawing or a set of drawings and really take advantage of the creative space. I was asked actually in one instance to come and draw notes for a couple conferences, and when you sit down and you can able to just concentrate on drawing, you can end up with some pretty neat stuff. I really enjoy, conferences for that matter. There's a lot of information, and Adobe Ideas is one of those apps that I would probably say sits at the top of my list in terms of those applications that can kind of help me get there in terms of what a conference offers. Another one to share with you would be Evernote. Evernote is bar none favorite app of mine. I use Evernote for reading, writing, and notes that are nearly public. I think Evernote is a fairly high quality application. Fairly high quality. I use it, profusely. I enjoy using it and think that its audio transcription, its ability to kind of suck in images and do some OCR searching on top of that, that's unparalleled. And it's one of the few services that I say it's worth paying for. Because the transfer limitations kind of go away, but then you get that in document and PDF searching, which is always very handy when you're dealing with a lot of project assets. This here, as I talked about in a previous video, is my Kindle Fire HD. This is the old boy now. The new Kindle Fire HD is out, and I'm undecided whether I'm going to get me another one or not to replace this, or if I'm going to look at getting a different Android tablet. But one of the things I did do is I got an mini HDMI to HDMI connector for it. The opportunity in mobile ministry is that we can also, not just create at a moment, but we can also become producers in a moment. And plugging this into a television set, I'm currently using my TV as my viewfinder for this videocast, but plugging this into your television or your projector and then showing off things that you've created offers some opportunity for for sparking other kinds of creativity or sparking other types of creative instances that may only normally be shared in a Moleskine notebook or shared in a siloed application. As I mentioned at the top of this videocast, mobile means, in part of mobile means being available at the point of creation. For me, that's looked like drawing my notes, sharing project documents. I'm actually, one of the things I like doing is I take, pretty invasive notes of sermons, but I can actually take snippets of audio from those sermons and add those into my note without waiting for the AV team for that particular ministry to give me a copy of it, and then I chop and slice it, and I have to use a high-powered laptop or desktop machine, workstation machine in order to do that. I can really do stuff like that on a moment, and then really turn environments into my own study space. And so I think that's what's really possible with these devices, and having tablets and mobile phones that plug into other media devices. So my phone is plugged into the TV right now via VGA, RGB connector, or some of them do it via HDMI. Earlier today, my Chromebook, which I was just using a half second ago, my Chromebook was actually playing the remote for my Chromecast because I was looking at a number of videos, entertainment and otherwise, via YouTube. These are kind of things that we can do with mobile, and that mobile makes present, and that mobile ministry activities should really long for. So thank you again for tuning in. We kind of keep these short and simple, and like I said, impromptu. Catch up with Mobile Ministry Magazine at mobileministrymagazine.com, or you can check us out on Twitter, MobileMinMag, or you can use the hashtag on Twitter, MOBMIN, Mobile Ministry, MobMin, to catch up on not just what's happening at Mobile Ministry Magazine, but any other websites and individuals who are publishing content about mobile ministry. This is stuff that's out there for you. These are resources that you should take advantage of. Go out, create something that hasn't been created, and draw somebody to a side of Christ that they didn't know about before. Thanks.